Hello everybody on the internet and YouTube, welcome back to my channel for another video in The Sims 2 with me, Addict. Today I am bringing you a random little renovation of a very, in my mind, this is like a very well-known famous lot. This is 105 Sim Lane, at least it is, that's what the address is in my neighborhood. I don't know if that's what the address is originally, because I tend to move lots around quite a bit and then make the addresses make sense, but if you've been playing The Sims 2 for a long time, you may recognize this house. It's this very traditional looking red brick kind of structure, and it's a little weird, it's a little wonky. And I wanted to make it over because I want this house to be nice and ready for a sim of mine to move in. So the first couple of changes that I made to the lot were to firstly flatten it, because it's got the house up on a little bit of raised terrain for pretty much no reason. And I find that that's just really frustrating because it just causes routing issues. And then I just extended a couple of the walls on the downstairs before because they didn't match up with the upstairs, and that just annoyed me. Then I basically ripped it to shreds and completely redid the floor plan. I was not a fan at all of the floor plan in this lot originally. I thought it would wasted a lot of space. I thought it was very pokey, lots of like really random corners and random little weird spots that would be a routing nightmare. So I basically just tore it to bits and completely redid it. The kitchen is still in basically the same space over there to the right. That's the right, isn't it? Yes. Oh lord. Okay, yep. And then there's a living room still over the other side, and eventually we also add in a little downstairs laundry and toilet, because a lot of my builds are now having laundries incorporated into them, because of course I'm playing with the laundry mod from the Sun and Moon Star Factory, so my houses need to have laundries. And obviously, I moved the stairs over to the side. I wanted to make sure that there was enough room. I wasn't entirely happy with how small the living room was. This room over there with that fireplace in it, I was like, oh, it's just a bit tiny. So I was trying to figure out, could I move the stairs to make it bigger, but I couldn't figure out a way to do that. So we just left it as is. But the upstairs I also redid. I got a bigger master bedroom, 2 other bedrooms, an ensuite, and a main bathroom. Was I saying bathroom before a bedroom? Now I don't remember. Oh lord. Master bedroom, 2 other bedrooms, an ensuite, and a main bathroom. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know if that's what I said before, but okay, whatever. Yeah. And then I have these really cool stairs, right, that are like a half version of the grand sweeping staircase, but for some reason they were not working for me. They had holes in them, so I'm gonna have a look at re-downloading those and making sure I have all the master meshes that I need for those, because they weren't working, and that was quite upsetting because I really wanted to use them. So anyway, my inspiration for this lot was I wanted it to be fairly traditional still, because it is a very traditional style home. I wanted it to be a little bit old-fashioned. I wanted it to kind of look like nobody had renovated it pretty much since it was built, and that if your sim, well, one of my sims, chooses to move in, they may want to renovate it and make it a little bit more modern and up to date with some of the floorings and the wallpapers, but I did want it to be in a fairly traditional style. So I leave the windows, the traditional style windows. I use these beautiful bespoke interior doors, which are quite a traditional sort of style as well. And then we sort of go with a very old-fashioned kitchen. I'm just popping down random bits of furniture. If you see me do that, it's just because I'm sort of laying out the space and just working out if it's functional and where I want to put things. But yeah, the kitchen's massive and very traditional looking as well. And yeah, I do get rid of like one of the fireplaces from upstairs, because originally when you load in this lot, it's got like 2 fireplaces downstairs and a fireplace upstairs, which I thought was overkill. So I did get rid of one of those, but I still wanted to have fireplaces in the lot because, again, going for that sort of traditional vibe. But you can see right now those fireplaces are quite modern in style, so I do actually change them out for a style that is less modern. But yeah, so the stairs are sort of just tucked off into the corner here. Yeah, I really wanted to use that sweeping staircase, so I don't know, I might see if I can fix it and re-download it and make that change in my own game personally, but for now we just do this sort of little kind of half landing. Well, not half landing, what would you call that actually? It's not a half landing, is it like a first quarter landing or something? I don't know, but yeah, little landing staircase. which kind of wraps around. And then, yeah, so I pick out this sort of fairly traditional looking floor tile, wooden floor tile that I go with for the entry foyer. Because I wanted it to look kind of old-fashioned, and I wanted it to also look kind of fancy. I didn't want this lot to look like it was cheap. I wanted it to look like it's a very solid traditional old home, and that, you know, you'll pay for some of that solidness when you buy the lot, because it's actually, you know, oftentimes it costs a little bit more money to buy a traditional big old house than it does to buy something new and modern. So then in the kitchen, I went with this stone tile, which is actually maxis. I always surprise myself when I actually use something that's maxis rather than a custom content thing. But I do use maxis stone tile in the kitchen. I put tile under where the fireplaces go because I find that to be very realistic. You generally, when you have a fireplace in your house, you will have tiling underneath it. And then yeah, I switch out the fireplaces for this maxis one that I have a nice recolor of. Which looks very nice and a little bit more in that traditional style that I was going for. So I was quite happy with that. Yeah. And then the other thing I'm really not too happy about, like in terms of my layout and stuff, as I left it, is that some of the upstairs rooms are still quite small and still quite pokey. The ensuite is definitely very tiny. The main bathroom is actually also very tiny, and those two main bedrooms, or the two extra bedrooms, sorry, are also pretty tiny. So you don't get very big rooms upstairs in this lot, which is a bit of a shame, but it's kind of just a limitation of the lot, I think, because it was yeah, the upstairs space is not actually that small, and I definitely wanted to have 3 bedrooms up there. I didn't want to drop it to only having 2 bedrooms. So I don't know, it's a little bit pokey, it's a little bit squeezy, but I guess you'll just have to make, or I'll just have to make do. And maybe one day I'll extend over to the left and right where those bits of like peaked roof are, and just extend the house outwards, yeah, to the left and right if I do have a family living in here. And they need more space. I do actually have kind of like a sim in mind who I would like to eventually have living in this house, but we'll have to see if we can make that happen through gameplay. But yeah, so with the outside verandas, pergolas, whatever you want to call them, I just redid them in some nice sort of white wood, and added in those posts there. I really like those posts. They're from the Bari build set, and I like them because they're quite dainty. They're not too thick or massive, so that's really good. Also, sorry about my dogs barking in the background. My husband is getting home from work, and he's quite late, and the dogs, when my husband gets home from work late, the dogs get really anxious, like waiting for him to arrive, and they start barking at everything and anything. But I think he is actually getting home now, so that's why they're all going a bit bunter out there. Yeah, so the back decks of this lot are actually quite famous as well, because I believe if you're very familiar with like the Sims 2 opening movie, you know, like when the Sims 2 is loading, there's a birthday party scene, and a boy blows out some candles and like ages up to a teenager on like a back deck, and I'm pretty sure that back deck right there is the one that they actually used to film that little scene, or at least something very similar. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it always reminded me of. So I was like, I've got to keep this deck here, I've got to make it look nice and maintain that bit of like Sims lore, I guess. I don't know if I'm actually correct about that. That might just be in, like, me and my headcanon being a bit messed up, but it's okay. And then I fenced off the backyard a fair bit, just sort of on this side. I just realized that I didn't actually do it on the other side, which is a bit of an oversight, but that's okay. I can complete the fence on the other side when I have a sim move in. Oopsie doopsie. And then for the front, I wanted to do something a bit lower, and I used this beautiful Abbey fencing, which I downloaded from somewhere, and I really like it. I think it's really nice. So used that for the front of the lot. I think it looks lovely. I added a driveway because I feel like whoever owns this house is definitely rich enough to afford a car. It would be nice to have a full like garage in here as well, but I didn't want to add that on at this stage. And then yeah, just creating a nice little sort of front gated entry. So the lot is fairly secure. Because again, like a house like this might be maybe a bit of a target for like crime. People wanting to steal from the rich might target a house that looks like this because it's quite nice. But I have actually heard that like thieves will tend to target lower class looking houses because they probably don't have as advanced security systems. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm not a thief, but you know, thought it was an interesting tidbit. Anywho, so yeah, with the driveway, I do actually recolor that to be a different. Oi! Sorry, they're scratching on my door. Yeah, a different texture, and I add in a bunch of gravel pathing. I didn't do a heap with the garden on this lot. I left it pretty bare bones. The reason for that was that I just didn't want to make the lot crazy expensive by having a lot of flowers and bushes everywhere. And also the other reason is I'm lazy, just pure and simple. But yeah, so coming back into work on the kitchen a little bit now, I went with the original Chasmoy French country counters that were originally in the lot, as you can see, but I did recolor them slightly. So I wanted to make the countertops blue because in the original house, in this house originally, I should say, there's a lot of blue. There's a lot of like blue carpets, blue walls, a lot of blue features. So I went with a blue countertop and I thought it was quite nice. And then I mix and match in these upper cabinets, which are from a completely different set. That stove hood, which is from Tuscan, the Tuscan kitchen set. So I do mix and match actually quite a few different sets in to make this work. I played around with using these cabinets instead from Manor House, but I end up not doing that because there just weren't as many cabinet options. So I didn't have a little like half tile bit that I could put there on either side of the range hood. So I went back to using whatever I was originally using. But yeah, so the kitchen is a bit mix and match. It's got maxis counters and then 2 different sets for like the upper counters and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess you just get that sometimes when you have lots and lots of custom content, right? It's fine. There's plenty of bench space. It is a very large kitchen, and I left that sort of bay window area over there clear for a future breakfast nook. Like you could put a little table in there, a little round table or something like that, and that could be your spot where you and the family eat breakfast in the morning. I thought that was quite nice. But I went with such a large and open kitchen because I feel like that is a very clear marker of a more traditional home. Like I feel like a lot of modern homes have much smaller kitchens nowadays, and most of the time they're open plan, whereas this kitchen, as you can see, is like completely closed in. It's in its own room, and yeah, it's quite spacious and large. You could also probably fit a massive island counter in there if you wanted to, but I didn't want to overcrowd it. I do put in a couple of mod cons. I put in a dishwasher and a trash compactor from the Bayside set, so there's another set that I've mixed in there randomly. Oh gosh, I'm terrible sometimes. And now we're going to enjoy many, many minutes of Addict attempting to pick out wallpapers. So yay. I know you're all looking forward to that. I wanted traditional style. I wanted it to look a bit old. I want it to look even like slightly dilapidated, but like, yeah, the idea was that your sim might want to redecorate if they are a modern sim, because the styling of this lot is still kind of back in whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Era? Yeah, time period that it was actually built. So we go with this really beautiful custom wallpaper that I got from somewhere, I don't know. It's got this half panel, which I thought was really nice, very traditional style, sort of like upper skirtings as well. And what are those called? Architraves? Gosh, my brain. Oh my lord. Can't wait to get my brain back. Oh yeah, and then I recolored the kitchen walls into this, which is a really cool tile that I downloaded recently. It looks a bit grungy, which I really enjoyed for this lot as well, because again, I wanted it to look old. So I was trying to make it look old. I don't know if I succeeded, but I really like that tile that I picked out for the kitchen. I thought that was really, really nice. I think it might even be like a extracted wall texture from like GTA or something, because I recently downloaded a bunch of those. So that would be my best guess as to where I got that from. But otherwise, I don't know. I do find it very difficult sometimes when people are like, where'd you get that wallpaper? I'm like, I don't know. I download stuff all the time. And I don't really keep a good track of where it came from. Which is my bad. I should be more careful with that. Oh yeah, just playing around with changing up the roof tile here, which is nice. I do actually want more roof textures. That's something I'm going to probably like write a note for myself to go and look for, is some more different options for roof textures. At the moment, I pretty much just have the Maxis ones and the ones that Honeywell gave us with the bespoke build set, and that's pretty much it. And I would like some other ones. Yay. Okay, yeah, so continuing on our quest, our journey to find traditional styles slightly slightly dingy looking wallpapers for the upstairs rooms. So yeah, again, I didn't want these to be clean and modern. I wanted them to look a bit dated. So I do use wainscoting a little bit in those other 2 bedrooms. I use some that wall texture there. So one of the bedrooms is sort of decorated, like the wall tiles look like it would have been a nursery, and then the master bedroom's its own thing, and then the other bedroom's just sort of plain. Now we're going to go ahead and add some lighting to the outside of the lot. This is something that I'm trying to do more of these days. I got inspired by Kaylee83, who she always lights up the outside of her lots really nicely. And now just adding some ceiling lights to the inside as well. And you'll notice, I should have said this right at the start, but this house, when it's done, you know, for this video, it's not fully furnished because I want this to be like a not fully furnished home. Like when you buy a home in real life, you'll have your kitchen fittings, you'll have your bathroom fittings, right? But then you have to provide, at least in Australia, houses don't usually come with a fridge, and they don't usually come with a washing machine. They don't come with like any furniture usually. So basically, yeah, it is still fairly empty. This is not a fully furnished build. I should point that out right now because we're actually almost done with it, and you guys might be like, wait, you didn't furnish it. No, I know I didn't furnish it. That was on purpose. Yeah, but yeah, so I go ahead and I put some bits and bobs into the bathrooms, and then that's it in terms of furnishing. So bathrooms are basically furnished, not decorated, like not detailed. Kitchen's furnished but not detailed, and then whoever moves in here can personalize it to their own liking. That's kind of what I was going for. Yeah, okay. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so this bathroom up here, this is like the main bathroom, and you can see it is quite small. It's only a 2x4. I really prefer to have larger bathrooms in The Sims just for routing, especially with the laundry mod as well, because they get piles of clothes all over the floor as well as everything else, but that's okay. We'll make do. And yeah, just using some stuff from like the Aura bathroom, Honeywell's Better Bath. And then this little room down here is going to be the laundry. So I did put a washing machine in originally, then I was like, no, I'll take that out and make the Sim who buys this house provide their own washing machine, but I do leave in the toilet and the laundry tub. I had a random tree there that you can see is kind of like appearing and disappearing, and that's because it's actually a neighborhood deco tree. So I do go out and get rid of that extra tree that's sort of just the phantom tree that's appearing and reappearing occasionally. It's probably really hard to see with the video sped up, but there was a phantom tree there. You'll have to take my word for it. So yeah, just a little bit more terrain painting outside, just extending that gravel pathing just around the house, and that's pretty much it in terms of exterior landscaping. As I said, I kept it pretty basic, so this house is kind of like a blank slate, so whoever buys it can make it their own. So yeah, this is the outside of the lot after it is done. I feel it's very similar to how the house looked originally, but just a bit nicer, I think. This is the kitchen. I actually really like the kitchen. I would love to have a kitchen like that in real life. The entryway, and I did add railings to the stairs. Good job. That is the living room space, and I just stuck a random little like inbuilt cabinet in that random little alcove. So yeah, that's the downstairs layout now after I ripped it to shreds. That's the upstairs layout now after I've redone it. And yeah, that's it for this lot. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this little speed build. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more of this kind of content. And yeah, I'll be back maybe later this week, maybe next week, with more Sims 2 speed building and renovating. So until then guys, have a great rest of your week. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.